I'll begin with gratitude. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, ranking member, committee staff for allowing a hearing of my bill, the Tribal Trust Land Home Ownership Act. I get it. Home ownership, accessibility, affordability, these are problems across the country, but I got to tell you, it's worse in Indian country. It is much worse in many parts of Indian country. And in Eric Shepard's pre-filed testimony, he makes it clear that that's certainly true in South Dakota. He knows it all too well as someone who has been in the field working in these issues. There can not unusually be three families in a single three-bedroom home, and that creates overcrowding, and that creates wear and tear, and that creates yet more problems for home ownership long-term, and of course, as well as unsafe living conditions. And this is not just a problem for the Dakota people of the Sisseton, Wahpeton, Oyate. It's a problem for the Dakota and Lakota people throughout the 9 reservations, the 9 tribes of South Dakota. And of course, Congress, we are not making good on our trust and treaty obligations related to housing, and that is one reason that I joined with Senator Thune to introduce our Tribal Trust Land Home Ownership Act. Any of us who have taken the time to get a mortgage realize that it's kind of a bureaucratic and administrative pain, but I got to tell you, the pain is much more difficult for Indian people on trust land. On top of the bureaucracy of a traditional mortgage, you also need sign-off by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. That pertains to residential, commercial, and right-of-way mortgages, to name a few. And the BIA handbook suggests some timelines for that work to be completed, but the timelines are not always adhered to. That causes a lot of delays. It causes a lot of confusion for the borrowers and also for the lenders. Right? For the banks and other financial institutions that lend the money, they kind of know this is a pain. And that's not also good to make sure that tribal members get connected to the capital they need. I'm not suggesting that buying a house has to be a part of everyone's American dream, but we know that still home ownership is a special part of the American dream for so many. And the cold, hard reality is that bureaucracy is making it harder for Native peoples to realize that American dream. And so this bill tries to reduce some of those problems. It establishes, and I should tell you, with regard to the problem, the South Dakota Native Home Ownership Coalition has experienced delays, not just of 30 days, but in some instances as many as 365 days. And I think that is worth calling out. This is not a small problem. This is indeed a major problem. And so this is an important bill that puts some important rules of the road in place to make sure that we do better. I do want to thank Majority Leader Thune for leading this effort in the Senate. I want to thank Eric Shepard, who's here in his capacity as the Vice Chair of the Board of Directors of the South Dakota Native Home Ownership Coalition. And I want to thank everybody for this hearing. This is a real issue, and this bill would make a significant step forward in addressing it. With that, I would yield.